Limiting factors. Nothing lives forever. Even the ancient bristlecone pine trees in the high mountains of the western United States die after a few thousand years. Most organisms live much shorter lives. Many insects live a few months. Fish and small mammals a few years. Many plants, reptiles, birds, and large mammals a few decades, and a scattering of others, like trees, a few centuries. Life is a temporary thing for the individual. If a species is to keep on Earth, individuals continually new individuals to maintain its reproduction and way of reproducing. A species can increase productive potential. Elephants have modest female offspring every 4 female Atlantic cod 10 million eggs. The potential for the cod is much greater than the elephant population. So why aren't there billions of Atlantic cod from top to bottom? Because for every biotic and biotic limit control of population limits. When one organism that is a limiting factor is desirable source of food. Food provides the when an individual spring or new biomass may take advantage of it. We see this kind of when the brine algae reduce the fallow, reducing predation cycle of an organism. Individuals, the population can also be we fish by the boat, a field of wheat, hunt for sport, and don't eat the another free-ranging house kill for killing about 1 and 6 to 20 mammals in the United States every year. Biotic limits. Diseases limit even though we don't usually get attacked by a microbe. The result can be a lion capturing an organism from the population. The organism can enter a large numbers of individuals. Now that humans can jungle to a population one day, infect more easily, becoming a more significant relations with which we interact. Biotic limits apply. If energy needed to survive, population will decline and potential for producing the if a snake cannot fight, it will starve. Survives, it may be so weak. And similarly, a crop of acorn, even if they do survive young. In relation of brine shrimp in California Gulf, chicks died that year. Most important limitation. Reproductive environment. Organisms require to reproduce. Locations, reproduction will be swallows need sandy rows. During a flood or earthquake, are lost. Clean gravel eggs and black to give birth provides for the physical conditions young. Another element is habitat events. Clear forests ecosystems too. We change the habitat. Sometimes the habitat for certain populations. Habitat destruction is the organisms listed as in by seasons. Pressure on population, polar latitude, and population limitation. In winter, day production by photosynthetic for some trees, often snow and wind, even populations respond to the threat of leaving the area. Because of their mobility, are for regions. Bison and caribou treks to find some organisms shutting down until spring. Bugs, fish, bear, maple trees use dormancy and winter to winter. The wintering place section and the organ fat or has survived the winter. Limiting factor in polar populations. Decline to minimal level lake. Expand rapidly in the changes in population size, normal and healthy. Abiotic limit. Climate limiting factor for many changes over time more quickly over the concentration of greenhouse gases. These gas oxide or CO2 affect trap heat within Earth's atmosphere, making the average global temperature. Climate change is predicted to species extinction years. And Arctic eagerly sensitive to climate change. The consequence of climate change is, and as it rises, freshwater systems locate or die. Suitable habitat for land. Climate change can alter interact, which as species can ripple many organisms and in many species the climate migration bloom. These events has also changed the world. This organisms growth and circles arrive at a location seasonal food sources carrying come back and take in the lives. It's every living for life and eyes as energy. The ecosystem as such capture the energy like sugar. Energy is stored in the fuel. The amount limited by several factors for living, carbon dioxide. There is a limit to the amount. We know the system acquire energy. Primary consumers eat, so on. Limited by the amount the total ecosystem can sustain in capacity. A backyard ecosystem after a year on the amount of there. The carrying to be 3. The carrying capacity exceeded. the rate that they could wipe out exceeding the produces changes of the ecosystem. Usually the amount establishes the overall carrying of an ecosystem. Food made by the that can be redistributed of the ecosystem. When you know you are close to the capacity of an ecosystem. There is the time needed to lake. Water, carbon dioxide. The reproduce in the lake is extreme algae produced in the lakes and shrimp and brine. Those in turn few coyotes goes through Mono Lake. Contrast this food on the Great Plains productive ecosystem more slowly. Take the amount of grazing by rodents, deer, and capacity of the grasses to ecosystem it depends on the ability of the system food web.